This is Mal here with Herbert Wolverson, and he's going to give us a walkthrough of his in-development game, Nox Futura.
Hi, so the first thing we're going to do is mark a couple of settlers to do some mining and some lumberjacking. That's so that we can get stone, sand, metal, and wood. Now we're looking for a good spot. Pull up the building menu and place a sawmill, which converts wood into blocks, and switch over to the mining menu. And we're hunting around a bit. What we're looking for is a jet boulder in this case, because a boulder converts nicely into usable rock. So we mark out a few tiles to dig, and the settlers will run along and dig these out in a second. And we unpause the game and watch this little guys dash out. This one looks like he's rushing off to find some wood. That tree's in the way, so let me just quickly mark that for destruction. And here comes a guy with a pick, so I imagine he's going to dig a hole. I'm not sure what that other guy's doing. Yep, there goes the hole. Right, so you can see that up at the sawmill they're starting to cut wood, and we want to do the same with stone, so we're going to build stone cutters next to the newly mined out hole. And there it is. Somebody will run and build that with a boulder in a second. We'll just take a moment to look around the area we're in, make sure there's no really interesting natural hazards that I missed, and show off the camera controls. And there goes the tree. That was the green flash. And people are just dashing off now, finding wood all over the place to cut into blocks, which is good because we're going to need a lot of them. Stone Cutters is now producing stone too. So here I am back down. You can see the mine has been started. And this has opened up a whole lot of new building options. For this demonstration, I'm going to put a mechanics workshop up. Those are used to make mechanisms and circuits. We mostly building with wood right now, so the majority of the list you could see was stuff that is not fireproof. So you can't, for example, build a smelter out of wood because the first time you burn some charcoal, you're also going to burn down the smelter. And now I'm back in the mining screen because I remembered that I need some sand and some metal. So making sure that those are available, because in a minute I'm going to be building a glass furnace to make more glass. And we're looking in the workflow system and telling it that we'd like to always keep a simple mechanism in stock. And now we have enough. After magic cut, going down, we're going to place a smelter, which burns charcoal and melts metal down. Below that, we're going to place a primitive forge, which is a low-end forge, and a charcoal burner, which takes wooden offcuts and turns them into charcoal as fuel for everything else we're building, and a glass furnace, which melts sand into usable glass. And now we wait a little bit while the settlers scurry around actually making the buildings I asked for. After another magic cut, the 3 buildings are up, so now we're going to switch over into mining mode again and hunt around because the glass furnace requires sand, and previously I've really just dug out jet. Now we also need metal. Fortunately, there happens to be some sphalerite on this map, which sphalerite is a nice metal that when smelted can be turned into zinc. And while zinc's not the toughest metal in the world, it's certainly not pleasant to sit on with a spike, which is what we're trying to build. Now the overhead view is great for planning your basic building layout, but when for actual play I frequently find myself wishing for more of an isometric view, so that's what we'll switch to. Everybody's running around right now. They're burning charcoal and hopefully starting to get the metal and glass systems going. Alright, now we've got some sand and we've got charcoal, so we're going to go to the work orders system and we're going to queue up a couple of pieces of glass. Settlers will start to scurry. When those are built, we can make a silicon refinery. I had to look this up, but you can make silicon by combining charcoal with refined sand, and that's pretty much what this workshop will do. And now that we've got some metal over at the smelter, we're going to pull up our workflow menu and select retractable spikes, and we'll build ourselves a couple of those for use in a moment. And you'll notice everybody rushes off to start work. And we should have some glass completed at the furnace right now. I certainly saw the particle flashes. So we're going to pull up the work order menu and we're going to order some silicon to be made. We'll need to use the silicon to make circuits in a moment. Now I'm going to adjust the in-game camera, zoom in a bit so that you can see the mechanism that I'm trying to build. That looks pretty good. And scrolling through, I select a lever and place that, and it's in black because we haven't built it yet, so we wait for somebody to rush over and put it up. Go, 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 little settler. There you are. See, drops the mechanism on the ground, and now we've got a lever. So now I go into this menu, I queue up, make a simple circuit. And I decide that I'm going to place the retractable spikes that we built earlier. There we go, 3 in a row, and I don't really want to build a tent. So we'll wait while settlers rush around and actually construct these things. If you ever played Dwarf Fortress type games, waiting while you hope that your dwarves actually get to where you want and build something is a mainstay of gameplay. You'll notice that dropping mechanisms before they build the spikes themselves. That's because spikes actually require both mechanism and the spikes that you made in the forge to construct. So next we want to build a pulse oscillator. If you've ever done electronics, it's basically the old 555 chip from my high school days. It toggles to on and off repeatedly all on its own and will be responsible for making the spikes go up and down in a nasty fashion. To prevent the spikes from going up and down all the time, we're going to add an AND gate. An AND gate is a gate that only operates when both inputs are true. And we'll place that as a buffer so the oscillator and the lever are the inputs to the AND gate, and then the spikes will go up and down, but only if you've pulled the activation lever. So this is how you wire things up with a node editor heavily inspired by using the Unreal Engine, which I really always thought was the best way to make shaders. So as you can see, we wire the two things into the AND gate, then we wire the AND gate out to the spikes. And nice thing is it'll save the layout, so if I come back, it's still there. We select the lever, we indicate we'd like to pull it, and there the spikes go, and this guy is just aimlessly wandering around. Oh dear, that looks painful, and that looks fatal. Yep, he's now a little more than a big pile of mush and goo. I was trying to get to the pull lever to turn it off, and the person standing on the lever threw themselves in while they were looking for the other guy's socks. And here comes somebody else who saves the day by turning off the machine, and settlers may yet live.
If you're interested in playing the game, check it out at noxfutura.com. Thanks.